To me, art is important to the world, or should be important to the world, because it's not important to everyone in the world. You know, because it captures our history, our pains, our struggles, our blood, sweat, and tears, and our passions, our love, our sadness, our joy, our connections, our disconnects. I mean, you could go on and on and on with positive and negatives of what why art should be important to history. I like to create opportunities for other artists as well, besides me being an artist, so that they could identify themselves and make themselves known to the world, to a general public, whether it's in urban or non-urban settings. But it's great to be known for something, you know what I mean? Everybody should be acknowledged for something in this lifetime, I believe. Perfect example, Jef Campion, aka ArmyOfOne. I mean, that's my brother, you know what I mean, from the heart. We formed TAG together, and I love him, and you know, he just recently passed away. But the type of wake that he had, the funeral procession that he had, it was unfathomable, the amount of people that turned out, the kind of people that showed up, I mean, gave love. I mean,
it was a mix of people.
It was a mix of people just from everywhere, all walks of life came out, you know, and he definitely left an impression and left his mark on this world. To me, his work meant you really, and you could like say that to the umpteenth power, squared. Having an open mind, you had to, especially if you looked at his art, you know. What was it? You had the Ronald McDonald House, the Wounded Warriors Project, you know, the Grenade Boy. You know, I mean, these are just tools of his that he wanted to make the world aware of. You know, there's people out there that have it worse than we do. He gave back all the time. I mean, gave in ways that you couldn't imagine. Before I met Jef, I saw a lot of things happening with, you know, graffiti and street artists as I was going to the shows, filming and shooting. And, you know, I found that there was a disconnect between both genres of art. So I started emailing different artists, asking them if they wanted to be part of this ideology that I had of uniting artists together. My first email comes from Jef, ArmyOfOne. My brother, I would love to be part of this. Here are pictures of mine. He sends me pictures of The Bride of Frankenstein, Diane Arbus's Grenade Boy, a whole bunch of stuff that he's done, you know, from all over the place. Very famous picture of him holding the Grenade Boy with like his muscles sticking out in the cab. Long story short, we set up a meeting. I go to his studio, and like you said, you've spoken to Jef, very overwhelming person. And we clicked, man. It was like, right off the back, like I felt like I knew him for ages. I mean, that's how he made you feel. Mm-hmm. He just embraced you 350% and then some. Yeah. You know, that was just personality.
Never give up, never quit, and realize what your goals, all your goals, realize are attainable. I don't care where you came from. I'm a testament to the human spirit and survival.
You know, one of the best conversations I remember was like, I went to a gallery opening of his. I think it was called, you know, What's Your Religion? And he was exhibiting not his street art, but some of his fine art. You know, a lot of like this rusted metal with wood. It was very like, you know, religious type of icons, but it kind of like made you think a lot. You know what I mean? Just his execution of that type of art, because that was a completely different part of Jef nobody really knew a lot about.
But that's exactly where my mind was when I left 9/11 and I started creating pieces about, I really started reading the Bible just for storytelling. And I wanted to know all about, you know, how the fuck are these people so devoted to this religion? Which I was at a young age because we were forced to go to church every Sunday. Then I really got obsessed with the crucifix, so this is called Wall of Confusion.
On another day, we sat down and he says, you know what? Don't pay attention to the haters. You know, he was like, you know, fuck them. Because if people are hating on you, it's because, you know, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you start getting people's attention, whether if it's right or wrong, you know, in a good way or in a bad way, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's what you're going to do with it that counts. I mean, you could get caught up on someone's negativity, someone that's hating on you, and marinate on it so much that it throws your game off because you're focusing on negative energy. The thing that I learned from Jef was like, keep it moving forward, always be positive, disconnect yourself from the negative. You don't need that in your life.
You know, people are taught to hate. They really are. That's what that piece is about. Going back to segregation, going back to the Jim Crow laws. People are taught that they actually hung people, burned their houses. I mean, through history, you just think about the hatred of mankind. And I can't even put a finger on it. I just can't. I hated a lot of things in my life. And it was a waste of fucking time.